What's up, y'all? Welcome to the show. I'm Lemar. That's LJ. What the hell are we talking about today?
Okay, first thing I think we're going to talk about is the. I think we should talk about the Lakers first and how bad they're playing. They have the exact same record this year that they had last year at this time. Um, I have to look up the record. I should have been prepared before the show, but you know what I'm saying. Since I was actually working today, I didn't get to prepare as much as I usually do.
True.
You know what I'm saying. So if you look at the record, you would see that the record is exactly the same as it was last year.
We're getting off to a
on
great
March
start
12th.
today.
If you look at the standings, you see the West Coast and the Western Conference. You know what I'm saying? They were 30 and 36 last year on March 12th, 2018, and they're 30 and 36 this year. Now LeBron. Now I said LeBron James' record. Well, his legacy is kind of taking a hit. But you know, you have a LeBron apologists who make excuses for him all the time and say like, "Oh well, he's 36. Oh well, look at the way he's playing. Oh well, this, well that." Well, he went to this team. He had a lot of impact on who was going to be in the team before, like right before he got here. He could have him and Magic worked together in tandem. They're a unit, along with the new GM they have. But they still didn't make the moves that they needed to make. I thought that the team had too many playmakers on it, and they made excuses like, "Oh, you can never have too many playmakers." Yes, you can, especially today. You need to be able to move the ball and score. If you don't have any scorers, you're not going to win. If LeBron James has to move the ball and the ball goes right back to him so he can score, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's not going to make the playoffs this year. I don't care how hard he tries. He's not going to make it.
No,
He slacks off on defense a lot now. And you know, who knows how many more years he's going to have of being this good. You know, he's putting up good numbers, but who knows how many more years he's going to have of being actually really productive. So Jeff Van Gundy actually said during a broadcast that they should explore options for trading LeBron James. And Mark Jackson, who Jeff Van Gundy coached, was like, "What is your problem?"
Yeah.
He said, "Are you serious?"
He was like, "Why are we even having this conversation?"
To me, if you had other guys on the team, but if you trade him, then who would want to play in that team? I'm not getting like you.
Right.
You want to have like LeBron James, the guy who brings the people to the team.
Right.
So if you trade him away, then you have the same situation you have this year, next year with like Kevin Durant.
Right.
You know, so it doesn't make much sense to trade him. And if you do trade him, what are you going to get for him?
Well, my thing is, we're just gonna play this game, right? So, let's say we trade him, I don't even care what they trade him for. Let's just say they did make the trade. I think if they did it like this offseason, I think teams would choose. I think they could get free agents to go there, but it would have to be two. It would have to be like two guys because they still don't have a lot of contracts on, like they're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna be free agents this year, outside of LeBron and Kuzma and Ingram, outside of their actual core good players, the rest of those guys are gonna be free agents. Still got a lot of money to spend. Let's say they trade LeBron's contract and just get expiring contracts and draft picks back, then they would have a clean slate. And
they've had clean slates for years. And
well, no, they haven't. They had.
But the thing, a lot of times players just didn't want to go there.
Well,
you see what I'm saying?
Right, but the part of the reason for that was because the other management was signing Luol Deng and Brook Lopez, and they were signing bad contracts. They were signing bad contracts and
Brook Lopez contract doesn't look so bad now, does it?
Well, no. And by the way,
and the guy they just got rid of, Julius Randle. They should have kept both of them.
Right.
And that's another story that came out that you're probably going to bring up.
That they're not developing young players correctly. so yeah, that's another problem that they have. But and yeah, and that is a real problem. But I still think if they say they did do it, I don't think they're gonna, and I don't think they're even thinking about it. But if they did say trade LeBron James, then I don't think it would be the worst thing. I think you could bring two guys. You could get two guys to want to go there. I mean, like I don't know which two. You know,
I don't know. But, for what I'm hearing, these players don't really care about playing for the Lakers anymore. It's not like the team. It's not like the team has that kind of has the kind of shine that it used to have. You know what I'm saying? Where players want to just go to play.
Well, I don't think it's about the team though. I think it's about being in LA though, because teams want to go to the Clippers. I mean, players want to go to the Clippers.
What your players want to go to the Clippers doesn't matter where it is. They want to go to the Clippers because you have a winning organization. People like, you know what I'm saying, you have a good coach there. You have a good core.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're actually winning.
Superstar
you know what I'm saying? Players think about that before. Players don't think about, hey, I can make a name for myself. They don't have the same mentality they used to have.
That's true.
Players want to go to teams that are already winning.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. They want to jump on the bandwagon.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what players are nowadays. Even the best player, because LeBron started that trend. You know, even though there wasn't a winning team that they went to, he started the trend of going to these teams. You know what I'm saying? And
teaming up with right.
And plus, Miami won a few years before that, so
and then Durant took it to a whole nother level.
You know what I'm saying? Durant just came and he want to make the super team, just win championships. So that's what players are looking for. And the Clippers are a winning team right now. It doesn't mean they're going to win a championship, but they're already like a playoff team.
Right.
And you know, Kawhi Leonard,
plug in Kawhi and maybe Durant, and all of a sudden they're probably the favorites next year.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, but people like Durant, he's better in a small market. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's already in the San Francisco market, which is a pretty decent market. It's not as big as LA or New York. And he's already got problems with the media now and the actual softball questions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even Barkley just said, he made a comment saying that Kyrie and Durant won't belong here in New York because they're weak.
Right. Now, you know,
Durant.
Now, you know, although there is something to that, I also thought about how Carmelo was, but Carmelo's a different player. Carmelo doesn't say much anyway, so he handled it better. Like Carmelo didn't have any media issues until the very end, and it was because of Phil Jackson. So, but he is a different type of player. He never let the media get to him. He never said anything controversial. He was actually pretty good for New York in that sense.
Well, Carmelo's not them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a big difference between a guy who sets up a fake Twitter account just to praise himself and Carmelo Anthony. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a big difference between those two. You know what I'm saying? Carmelo, he's always going to be the same person. You know what I mean? Like, Durant, he's soft inside. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he whines and complains and he bitches.
In Oklahoma, he complained about the media.
He starts fights with players on the court and then shies away from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not really that strong of a guy. Right. So I do put credence in you know, other media guys, other sports figures when they say this guy is not really cut out for New York. Right. When it comes to LeBron can play anywhere. It doesn't matter. He's media savvy. Period. Point blank. Right. He's so
pretty much always has been.
Yeah, from high school, he's always been media savvy. He knows how to control the media. He knows how to play the game. Right. And so that's why media loves him, and they always will. They always put him up against Jordan, even though every player, the media puts LeBron above. The media puts LeBron above Jordan. Players put Kobe above LeBron. Every player. I've listened to like Steven Jackson, Jim Jackson, all the Jacksons. I've listened to Jay Williams, all these guys, all these guys who are talking heads on on any type of like media. Right. but with the exception of Pippen after him and Michael Jordan,
Right.
made up.
The thing about that is, they made up. The thing about that is from that. There's a lot of guys from Kobe's era though too. You know what I mean? So you got to take that into consideration.
Jim Jackson said he played against both Kobe and he played against
Well, I think they all. I think most of them did, but they're strictly from.
All of them did, but they said that when they played against LeBron and when that was always a talk. It was like you just let even when he was playing against San Antonio, just let him shoot. You know what I'm saying? Like with Kobe, you can't just do that to him because he'll destroy you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like in his prime. Now Jim Jackson, he was saying I played against Michael, Kobe, and LeBron. It was like Michael and Kobe had that killer instinct. LeBron, that's what makes you better. It was like LeBron doesn't have that. It was like he doesn't have that killer instinct where he's just going to take your heart out. He'll do that against players that are nowhere near his skill level, and he'll play against someone who can't really D him up well. And they'll play him, and he'll play them really well, but he won't take somebody's heart out in the playoffs like a Michael would do or like a Kobe would do. Now me personally, I don't believe that Kobe's better than LeBron because there are times where Kobe was in his prime, he didn't make the fucking playoffs,
right?
And there were times where he got exited out the playoffs in the first round in his prime,
right,
where he was averaging 35 points a game, and Jim Jackson. We said, I was on that team. I was on that team that when Kobe was playing against Phoenix and they got taken out in the first round. He was like, well, they got taken out in the first round. They were up 3-1, and then what happened in that game when Kobe? When Kobe did want to shoot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What happened in that game?
Right.
He was like, who's he teaching the lesson to?
Exactly. and I mean, not to make this about a Kobe rant. But yeah, people kill me with that Kobe stuff too because they talk about Kobe never left the Lakers. Like Kobe tried to leave the Lakers twice, and the Lakers accommodated him so he wouldn't have to leave. Cleveland couldn't accommodate LeBron, so LeBron left twice.
What you call Steven Jackson holds that against LeBron. He said he should have never left Cleveland. Steven Jackson holds it against him. A lot of other players hold that against him going to a super team, like players do. They hold that against him to this day. They said that was a weak move. They said that,
but I completely disagree.
They said that was a weak move. It was like going down to Miami was the all-time weak move because they. He said he went to a championship with that team. It was like it could have possibly won 1 or 2 championships with that Cleveland team. It was like, but he had to join that. But he had to join that Miami team. It was like that's just a weak move. So it was like he said he'd get points off of that. He was like you gotta take points off of that. He was like that's a weak move.
I disagree. I think if he was in a good organization where organization was pretty good, but he was the organization. It wasn't like as soon as he left, they went back to being the worst team in the NBA. So it's not like they were doing right by. I mean, not saying that they didn't try, but nobody wants to play in Cleveland, and nobody want, and they're not that good at making trades and signing. Like they had some nice role players, but those nice role players would have never ever beat San Antonio or that big 3 in Boston. So he would probably have 0 championships if he would have never left Cleveland.
I think that eventually he would have. I think he would have won 2. If they never went.
Maybe 1.
I think he would have won. I think he had the same amount. To be honest with you, I think he would have the same amount of championships.
I don't think so because
I think so. I think so because I think he would have gotten players to come to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that he would have. You know what I'm saying? Because he did it. He did it eventually. So
look at how it happened. Like
no matter how it happened, something would have happened. You know what I'm saying?
I
It's
don't know
LeBron.
because
You know,
I don't know because they
it's
drafted Kyrie. You know what I mean? So they lucked out because they sucked so bad. They drafted a great scoring point guard, and who just happens to fit well with what LeBron is. So that worked out perfect. And then the Kevin Love situation, they had to get a number one pick in the draft to be able to even get Kevin Love because they had no other assets. So
what you go? I still think that if they would if he would have committed to Cleveland in that 2010 season, I'm pretty sure that Dwayne Wade doesn't go there though. But I think that they do pick up one or two other guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I really do think that he lures people to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? The same way that you're doing it, the same way he's doing it, like he did before with Cleveland. Maybe he doesn't have those guys, but he's getting a different set of guys. You know what I'm saying? There will be people who will play with LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Because just the way he is. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't imagine it now because of the way things turned out. You know what I mean? Because, but I think that if I think that he would have got people to come. But as far as coaching goes, it was one point where the commentator was just like, well, these guys all had Phil. They all had great coaches. LeBron never had a great coach. And they have a point. LeBron never did have a great coach. Right. You know what I'm saying? He had Spoelstra,
and he was trying to get Pat Riley to come back out of retirement again. Riley wouldn't do it that time.
Riley didn't want to come out of retirement. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he would, I think he should have put pressure on somebody to come or make a coach. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like Phil Jackson when he was a Bulls head coach. It wasn't like, hey, let me go get the best head coach I could find. They didn't. They made each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I'm saying? Like Phil Jackson was a nobody when he came to the Bulls.
Right.
You know, when he came to LA, he came with 6 rings.
Right.
So it was just like maybe he makes a coach. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's a coach. Maybe what you call it comes there. That young guy. What's his face? From Boston.
I forgot his name.
yeah. Maybe he goes to Cleveland instead of it. Maybe to get D'Antoni instead of anybody. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of different possibilities that could have happened.
Damn, can you imagine LeBron with D'Antoni? LeBron running the point guard.
To be perfectly honest, that's what should have happened. You know what I'm saying? Like D'Antoni and LeBron came to the league at the same time. They came. They start coaching.
They came in at the same time. I didn't realize
2003. You know what I'm saying? That's when D'Antoni. Yeah, that's when he started. If D'Antoni coached LeBron from rookie season, LeBron would have been fucking rookie of the year and MVP at the same time.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. If that would have been a damn LeBron.
LeBron think about
and LeBron would be the all-time assist leader. Shit, he's already in the top 10 without that. Imagine if he had D'Antoni, he'd be James Harden. He'd be doing what James Harden is doing, basically minus the 3-pointers. he'd be averaging like 30 and 10.
Yeah, like with that offense, you know what I'm saying? Like with this type of player,
shit, he might be averaging the triple doubles.
and he'd be averaging triple double the hard way, not
right?
Like
the real right, not that right, exactly. Speaking of Westbrook, we're gonna get to Westbrook too.
Yeah, we should. I think we should move on. We should move on from that.
All right.
What's the next subject you want? What's the next subject? Let's do this.
we might as well talk about the Westbrook thing. Did you hear about that? He had another encounter with the fans. He told the fans, he's like, "I'll fuck you up, you and your wife." Your wife. Yeah, because he claims the fans said, "Get down on your knees like you used to," or something like that. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and I believe him. If you go to the fans' Twitter, he's trumped hard, and he has a whole bunch of white nationalist stuff on his Twitter page, and then He does what they usually do when they get caught out there. He played the victim. Oh no, I just said maybe he should. He should put ice on his knees because because of this and this and that. I was like, he's lying.
Yeah.
The Russell Westbrook doesn't get mad for no reason. He
Right.
keeps on going at you for no reason.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't say that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I totally believe
the
Westbrook.
yeah, the fan was banned from the arena for life. Why do they still have a team in Utah? Why do they have a team? I don't understand. I don't understand why they have a team.
They are a well-run organization.
I don't care. They shouldn't have a fucking team. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand why the entire they're the only. That's the only franchise in the whole state of in the whole area. There's no Utah, no Idaho. Why is there a fucking team in Utah? And why are they the Jazz? You know what I'm saying? Call them the fucking Mountaineers and give New Orleans back their fucking label.
Yeah.
They're the Jazz. New Orleans is the Jazz.
Now that's the team. That's the team you can get rid of. But
they have bad management. They always have, but they had bad management. Then they moved, and they moved back. Then you know what I'm saying? Like it's just a clusterfuck.
Yeah, Utah's actually more worthy of a team than New Orleans, but
fuck
based on how well they're run and they support their team.
Fuck the entire state of Utah. Okay, they don't need a fucking team. You know what I'm saying? They don't need a sports franchise. Fuck them. Move the team back to New Orleans and get rid of the goddamn Pelicans or whoever fucking owns that team out there. I have no idea. Like that. Every time I look, I'm like, why is there a team there? It just baffles me. I love their uniforms, but I hate the fact they play there. Why? And there's an Oklahoma City team. Why is there Oklahoma City team too?
Yeah,
what is this shit?
Yeah, because the owner was from Oklahoma City, and he said, "Well, I'm gonna buy the Seattle team and move them out of here." Seattle should have a team. They should.
Seattle should have a team. Pittsburgh should have a team.
Move Oklahoma City or Utah to Seattle. How about that?
Get rid of the whole Utah team. Move Oklahoma City back to Seattle. Move a team to Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh needs a basketball team. I don't care what anybody's. Pittsburgh needs a basketball team.
I agree. I think they should have one. I agree.
Kansas City should have a basketball team. If you're gonna move to Utah, move it to Kansas City.
Yeah, why doesn't Missouri have a basketball team?
Missouri, St. Louis, and Missouri need a basketball team.
St. Louis and Missouri.
St. Louis and Kansas.
So they need two teams? Nah. Yeah. At least one. They should at least have one. One of those cities should get one. Seattle should definitely get one back. I personally don't have a problem with Utah having. Well, then again, if they keep messing with Russell Westbrook every time, like maybe they should move that team. Nah, but
fuck that team. Fuck that city.
What
you got? You got a basketball team. You got one black person in the whole goddamn state. Get a hockey team.
That they should have. They don't have a hockey team. Why the hell don't they have a hocky team? Utah's known for snow.
Team in Newark, but no hockey team in Utah.
Utah is known for snow. What? I just thought of I think you're onto something. Now you're onto something. Now you're really onto something.
White people are so afraid to go to Newark to go watch the team in the Prudential Center, even though there's no problem with the Prudential Center. There's no problem even nowhere near the Prudential Center. They live around there.
They make sure of that. There's police swarming all through there during. They got
police on horseback.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So if they're so scared to go, they're so fucking scared and butthurt to go to fucking Newark to watch the goddamn Devils. Move them to fucking Utah.
All right. I can't argue with that. All right, so we got another basketball story. Kyrie kind of started realizing how crazy he sounded the past year or so about through the media, and he was like, the way I handled the media wasn't perfect. That's the only part that I really heard, and he's kind of kind of apologizing for the way he's been acting with the media. So I guess he realized, you know what, I've been wilding. Let me stop. Let me calm my ass down. So
fuck him. I don't know. I guess so. I mean, he says a whole bunch of stupid bullshit. And just like most of these, most of these players who swear that they woke, saying, "Oh, the Earth is flat." Oh yeah, like he said, and like people, and like since you say it, it gives credence to that bullshit.
Right.
It gives credence to ignorance,
Right.
and I hate giving credence to ignorance.
Yeah. I mean,
The world is fucking round. Nothing changed. You're not any more woke to anybody. You sound fucking retarded.
In his defense, he backtracked on that too. So he shouldn't
have said it in the first place.
But he's
half raised fucker.
He says, "Oh my god, this is going off the rails real fast."
I got a point to prove. Right? And the Knicks should not sign his half handicapped ass to any contract. I don't care how young he is. I don't care if he bounces the ball and shoots it 30 fucking times a game. I don't want him on my team. Let him go to an ISO team. Go play in Chicago or something.
Yeah,
and I'm ISO out there.
And I'm starting to hear that him and KD is a package deal wherever they decide to go. That's what it sounds like. Like it sounds like they're both moving off the Knicks too. From what the rumors are, that they're both moving off.
Yeah, I heard about that, and I'm happy about it. I really don't want Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though,
put it like this: if it means I have to get KD, if it means I have to take Kyrie to get KD, I would do it. I would do it if it means that's the only way to get KD. Because even though I do not respect KD nearly as much as I used to, he can still play for the Knicks. I'll still take him for the Knicks. But and if it meant getting Kyrie then I would do it. That's the only way I would do it. But if we don't have to get Kyrie, I don't want Kyrie. I just know he's gonna sign there, and then his knee problem is gonna be so chronic.
And he's gonna demand. Oh, I want a 7-year deal. Like, no, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, if he was 26 years old and had no health problems, then yeah. But and now everyone's saying, oh, we should sign Kemba Walker. I was like, oh no, this shit again. This dude's 30. This dude's 30 now. All right.
If you had to choose, who would you take, Kemba or Kyrie?
Neither. I take Dennis Smith Jr.
No, if you had to choose, like, what if you?
If I had to choose, I choose neither one of them. I don't. You don't need a point guard to win a championship.
If somebody said you're gonna die if you don't choose one of these two players,
then fucking bury me. I'm not doing that. I am not doing this shit anymore. I'm not signing any.
You're gonna die and hold your family hostage for the rest of their lives while you're dead. You can't do anything about it. We're gonna lock you up in a chamber for the rest of your life.
I don't want either one of those players. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want a young player who you can actually mold, and we already have that in the team. Now, the real choice is if I either take Lonzo Ball or Dennis Smith Jr. Now, Dennis Smith Jr. is playing. He's playing decent with us. You know what I'm saying? He's had games here where he disappears.
Yeah.
But you know, we're in a bad team. But I think you should play better if you're on a bad team. To be honest with you.
Yeah, he should.
You know what I'm saying? You have the green light. You know what I'm saying? You should be averaging 30 right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, if I had a choice between Dennis Smith Jr. and Lonzo Ball, that's more of a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like this is an easy choice between Dennis Smith Jr. and Trae Young. You pick Trae Young.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
10 times out of 10.
At this point, Lonzo Ball, second year in a row, injured and missed significant. He's now missed more games than he's played.
Really?
So, yes.
I did not know that.
By the end of the season, because he's done for the year. So by the end of the season, he will have missed more games than he's played. So
just the season?
That's a problem, huh?
Yeah, just this season.
No, in general, like, cause he missed a lot of games last year, so he's gonna have more missed games than played games total.
Then I don't want him.
That's a problem. So I'm definitely off Lonzo Ball. I think he's still a good player, and I think he could be a better, like, if he's healthy. I think he makes more of an impact on the team than Dennis Smith Jr. does. But he got to play. He got to be on the court. So now one thing I said about Dennis Smith Jr. I haven't watched him a whole lot. But I do look at his stat line, and I'm like, all right, he usually gets around 18, 19 points. He usually shoots around like 6 of 14, 6 of 15. So where he's not shooting terrible, he's not shooting a terrible percentage. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I do. I'll give him like I think they say he shoots around 42 or 43% or something like that. So I'm like, he could be better, but it's not terrible. I do like that he doesn't force anything. I do like that because it seems like he could get more production if he asserts himself a little bit more. You know what I mean? But it seems like he's trying to be a balanced point guard, which is cool. But like right now, like you said, he should be kind of going off if he's capable because there's no other offense on that team. Like I don't see why he's not scoring more.
Okay. I was looking like he has 4 points. I was like, that's right now.
Right.
I was looking at a couple games.
Game just started, right?
Yeah, game just started. All right, I can go back a couple games. Versus Minnesota, 13-4. Versus Sacramento, 18-5. Phoenix, 15-6. Sacramento, 18-5. Clippers, 8-6. Cleveland, 16-8. Orlando, 9-3. San Antonio, 19-13. So like I like that 19-13. That's right. What I like.
Right.
But he's not going to get that.
If you could settle on an average of say 19-8, then that's not bad. You know what I mean? Like I can live with that.
19-8 is Hall of Fame, man.
I guess I suppose
you can settle on that. That's Isaiah Thomas.
Well, that's the old Hall of Fame. Now I don't know if that's Hall of Fame with the way point guards play now.
19-9 for a career? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, that's career. Hell yeah.
Okay.
Who's averaging 19-9 now? Nobody.
I suppose,
nobody.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. Well, James Harden is averaging.
He's averaging
30 and 10 or something like that. 35 and 10.
He's averaging not for his career, but for this season he's averaging 36-8, which is ridiculous. He's just putting up stupid stats like Jordan stats.
Yeah.
Is he going to get MVP? Do you think?
Probably. Well, they might give it to Giannis. Either him or Giannis. That's the only two candidates at this point. Because I think
Kawhi?
I don't think so. I think Kawhi is having a good year, but he's not having an MVP year. Toronto's doing about as good as they always do. So that's gonna hurt Kawhi. You know what I mean? Like they were better last year. They were number 1 last year. So that's in a sense it's gonna hurt him. You know what I mean?
Well, he has a lot of injuries. You know what I'm saying?
That too. He missed a lot of games. Right. He kind of misses quite a bit of games here and there. So quietly though, nobody really notices. But we noticed last year. Last year we noticed because he did it on purpose. But I would say he did it on purpose, but but last year it was a thing. So, but throughout his career he has missed a lot of games. So that's something that needs to be kept an eye on also with him. But yeah. So Giannis, they went from being like an 8th seed to the 1st seed this year. So that's a big plus for him. Paul George was in the running for a little while, but
Paul George
but he's fallen off a little bit. It looks like Westbrook is starting to take all the shots again. And by the way, they're 3-7 in the last 10 games since then. So,
point guards. I'll make this point really quick. I'm sorry, I didn't want to cut you off.
Nah, go ahead.
But point guards don't win championships. The only ones who do are Steph Curry and Isaiah Thomas, and that's
Magic Johnson.
Yeah, Magic Johnson. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I forgot about him. It's like Steph, Magic, and Isaiah, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? The reason Kyrie won is because he was playing with LeBron.
Right.
Otherwise, it didn't matter who was on that team. LeBron was still going to win. If he had Damian Lillard, he would have won. Right. If he had Chris Paul, he would have won. Right. It doesn't matter who he had. If he had Isaiah Thomas, he had little Thomas, he would have won.
That I don't know. Like Isaiah's good, but I think Brad Stevens, by the way, is his name. Brad Stevens is the one that got the most out of him. So I don't know. But I was gonna bring up the Brandon Ingram comes out that he's got the same blood clot condition as Chris Bosh. So I mean he's got it in his shoulder, whereas Chris Bosh had it in his leg. So as you were saying, that it's not as big of a as a problem, but it's still a
Well,
problem.
well, if it's in your legs, it can a blood clot can always break off and go into your lung, and that can cause you to suffocate. That's called DVT, a deep vein thrombosis. If it's in your arms, it's not as much of an issue. It causes circulatory issues. You get numbness and what I'm saying, where you just have a whole bunch of issues, but it's not as serious as if it was in your legs. Like you
Well,
can't fly if it's in your legs.
why don't you just take aspirin? No, just, no. Like that. Like that solves everything.
Aspirin is a blood thinner. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But you have to take like real blood thinners. It should make you
Right,
make your teeth
like the real shit, like the real shit. But yeah, so that brings me to the point of like why, like I mean, what are they gonna do now? Like they're losing assets now. Brandon Ingram is no longer an asset for Anthony Davis. Lonzo Ball being hurt again, all of a sudden his stock is down. You know what I mean? So that puts the Lakers in a situation where now they gotta hope they get a really high draft pick just to kind of give themselves an opportunity to get Anthony Davis again. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's kind of why they're shutting everybody down. Now, like they want to shut LeBron down, but they're just cutting his minutes.
LeBron ain't gonna get shut down. You want to know why?
And his
Because
minutes
he
ain't
wants to
gonna get
break
cut.
every record.
Right,
He wants
right.
to break. He already broke Jordan's record, and just imagine when he breaks Kobe's record.
In LA.
If it's in LA, they will boo the living shit out of him.
Yes, they will.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't. Only reason why I don't think that's gonna happen is because I think next year they're gonna, one way or another, the Lakers are gonna be good next year, and they're gonna be a playoff team next year, unless LeBron gets hurt.
I don't know.
I think
I don't know because like you got Rob Pelinka and you got Magic Johnson, who are like they don't really know exactly how to run a team. They know what they like, and do you think that that the Lakers would have been better off if they had Julius Randle on this team? Look
No.
the way he's playing.
Not
He's
necessarily.
playing really good this year.
Well, yeah, well, LeBron maybe, yeah, well, LeBron, they probably would have been all right. Like he probably would have played. I don't.
I think he would still be in the playoff race if they had this guy. Because,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he plays this well because they kind of let's even with him staying, I think they just kind of soured on him to where they kind of had to trade him. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he would be as good. I mean, he probably would be better than he's been, but I don't know if he'd be this good the way he like because he gets a lot of he gets the ball a lot. He gets he they don't have a lot of talent over there. He's in New Orleans, right? They don't have a lot.
In New Orleans. He's at the beginning of the season. Him and Anthony Davis are going off. He was averaging 20 and 10. Anthony Davis was averaging 25 and 13 or something crazy like that. They were doing what I'm saying. They were doing that Twin Tower shit at the beginning of the season. But now he's averaging 20 and 8, which is decent.
Right.
But I think that LeBron, it's actually pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It's deep. But I think that he would help LeBron out a lot, especially down low. He gives LeBron a target. He's not a shooter, but he's still a target. Who can score because he needs scoring. LeBron needs somebody who can score, take the weight off of him.
What he needs more importantly is people that stretch the court out a little bit. Like they don't have that. Like you said, they have too many playmakers and they're not good outside shooters. So like they need to be able to give LeBron space to work. Huh?
Well, Clay will be there next year. If Clay goes there, then
no way.
if you weren't saying that at the beginning of the season, you were saying that Clay would definitely go there.
I don't remember saying that. I don't remember ever saying that.
You didn't say that. You were saying there's a strong possibility that Clay.
I don't remember saying that.
His father played.
I gave it a shot, but now that Durant might be leaving, there's no reason for Clay to leave. Like if Durant leaves, Clay's not leaving.
That's why I think Durant is staying. I think that Durant's staying, and I think that Draymond Green is out.
Yeah, it's funny because I was listening to Kyle heard about it. He was talking about that. He said because like Durant would basically if Durant and Draymond still really don't like each other or whatever, he could just be like, look, I'll stay if Draymond goes, and they're gonna pick him over Draymond. Like that would be crazy not to. Like Draymond is regressing as a player, and as Steve Kerr said yesterday, I'm fucking tired of Draymond Green shit. so, so yeah, I mean, like you can't pick Draymond. I don't care if you drafted him, whatever. You can't pick Draymond over Durant. Durant's light years better, and he's much more of an impact. So, and then you may look at Clay possibly leaving. Maybe him and Kawhi go to the Clippers or something like that.
Well, the player that we're both not looking at, Boogie Cousins.
He's another one that he's again.
If I'm Boogie Cousins, why not go to LA? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like they can pay you a max contract, and why wouldn't LeBron like want Boogie Cousins? He cannot get Anthony Davis now. He cannot get him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not gonna happen.
And you won't even have to trade nobody. You just plug in DeMarcus Cousins, LeBron, Kuzma, and Brandon Ingram, and you got a pretty damn good team.
And next season you trade DeMarcus Cousins right back to where the fuck he came from. Put him in New Orleans, right back to
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis. He would be pissed. He would be pissed. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's always pissed anyway. Who cares?
He was like, I'm pissed. He was like, what is it, Tuesday?
Pretty much. But would you take DeMarcus Cousins with the Knicks?
No, I don't want him. His style of play is not really a winning style in this league.
No,
right. Not unless you have someone to be a good playmaker for him. He can be dominant, but the Achilles is a killer. But he actually came back from the Achilles playing decent.
Yeah, and he should be even better next year. So,
you know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't really use his athleticism. He's not really athletic, so I guess his Achilles is not really good there.
Right.
He's not really known to be a fast player either, so he's more like upper body strength.
Right.
So yeah, like he would work well with LeBron, but on this Knicks team, like I'm completely confident in Mitchell Robinson as being our center moving forward.
Yeah, I'm good with Mitchell Robinson too. Only thing, real quick about the Knicks, I do worry about them panicking if nobody wants to come there, and then they just start signing cats to long-term contracts.
The media is the one pushing this.
Yeah.
The Knicks and the Knicks organization never ever said, hey, we're definitely going to get Kevin Durant. That's the reason we did this. You know what I'm saying? Like
they're not saying anything actually.
The Knicks haven't said anything, which is good. You know what I'm saying? The media has always said, if the Knicks don't get this, it's a complete failure. And it's like, failure in what?
Right.
They never said they were going to. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know any. These players never made anything known that they were going to go to New York ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's all the media. They were always as soon, like before the season started, we were just waiting for KP to come back. Now that KP's moved, they had to make a move and pretty much undo what Phil did.
Yeah.
So KP's over in Dallas, and he's not going to sign that. He's not going to sign the deal in this season, the extension.
Wow.
So he doesn't want to play. That's what he said. He's not signing.
Wow.
He's not signed. So they just traded a bunch of picks for a guy who may not play there again.
Damn, that's crazy. He probably gonna end up with he may. I guess he want to go to the Clippers, right? Because that's what he put on his
Yeah. He put.
Everybody want to go to the Clippers.
He said the Clippers or the Brooklyn Nets. So he might want to come back to New York, but he
wants to play for both B teams. All right, we didn't get any football. We got I ain't gonna say a lot of football, but we got some football. Obviously the Antonio Brown trade. Um, yeah, I was talking last week like we weren't gonna. It may not work out well for him because he keeps running his mouth, but worked out pretty damn well for him. He got he got traded to the Raiders for a third round pick and a fifth round pick, and he got a 3-year deal of $30 million guaranteed. I don't remember what the total was, maybe 50 something million, but $30 million guaranteed. So it worked out well for him. He's now the highest paid receiver in the league again, and he's got a quarterback that can get him the ball. So that was another important thing, which I was thinking like the teams that are interested can't really get him the ball like you want, but he found Derek Carr, who's a good quarterback, and I mean he's not Roethlisberger, but he's good. So it worked out for him. I'm glad it worked out for him, and I'm glad for football players that it worked out for him because now that's not going to happen out every time, but it's good that players can start getting some power. You know what I mean? Like it worked out. He got basically what he wanted. So now other players can look at that and say, look, we can have some power too if we exercise our muscle. Now it ain't gonna always work out for everybody, but you got to be as good. You got to be really good like AB is, but it can work if you do it the right way. Because they say Khalil Mack, because even the Khalil Mack thing, they said that he kind of. From what I'm hearing now, I'm like he kind of forced his way out. I'm like I didn't know that. I just thought they wanted to trade him. But they say he stopped talking to management and he didn't want to. He kind of like just fenced them off, and so they was just like, all right, well. So it was kind of 2-way thing. So you know what?
That didn't happen. He wanted a new contract, and John Gruden came there. Same day he came there, he already. Oh, I'm not talking to players. You know, I'm gonna. He came in there, guns blazing, like he got something to prove to him. And Khalil Mack is one of the best defensive players in the league. I don't got anything to prove to you.
Right.
I want my contract and I want my money. That's what I want.
Right.
So that I don't really believe that he came in. He came in there. John Gruden came in there guns blazing. Mm-hmm. This dude was just going to play.
Right.
But as far as Antonio Brown is concerned, he's a big fucking buffoon.
Antonio Brown is?
Antonio Brown. He's a big fucking buffoon.
Okay.
That's all he is a clown. Every time you see him, he's got some weird fucking haircut, and he has some blonde shit and a blonde mustache. I'm not looking for attention. Terrible. I'm not looking for attention.
Yeah, they got the nerve to say that.
Yes, you are. You're looking for attention. You know what I'm saying? And you look like a fucking buffoon. So like now, instead of having a real conversation about your quarterback people look at you and it's like, why would I take this guy seriously? He doesn't take himself seriously. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like at least with Ben Roethlisberger, he looked like he's being taken seriously. I mean, if you're a woman on the late night, you better take him seriously. But yeah, like you just can't take anything Antonio Brown said, even if he's right. You look at him, and he loses credibility as soon as you look at him. and then he says things like he called Shannon Sharp a coon because Shannon Sharp, yeah.
Wow.
Right in front of LeBron James.
Oh, he said that on that show?
Yes.
Wow. See, I didn't watch it.
Damn. And Steven Jackson came to Shannon Sharp. Like there's a lot of coons on TV. Whitlock, but Shannon Sharp ain't one of them.
No, definitely not.
Shannon Sharp ain't one of them, and the reason he says because Shannon Sharp hurt his feelings with the things he was saying. I was like, your feelings are hurt because he's true. Right. You know what I'm saying? The things that Shannon says, I agree with. Like, you know what I'm saying? This guy came from a great organization, not a good organization, a great organization. You don't get along with your quarterback. Who cares? You don't have to fucking go out and have a cookout with the guy. Just
Right.
have him throw the fucking football to you and catch the
He
ball. And
definitely
win
does that.
Yeah,
He definitely
just
throws
have
the
him throw the
ball.
football. And if you have a problem with him, you keep it in house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's such a problem where like you have to be we want to go, then you make it known, and you'll get the trade that you want. You know what I'm saying? Before they were going to trade him to Buffalo, but then that shit
He was
just he's like,
nah.
I'm not reporting to Buffalo,
Right.
so that got shut down. But yeah, like that actually when he went to the Raiders, the first thing I thought was, well, I was like, what is John Gruden doing?
That was my thought. That was my first thought.
I was like, what's he doing? I was like, you trade all these guys. I was like, I don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You trade all these guys away because you don't want to pay him. But then you got the highest paid receiver in the league who's 4 to 5 years older than the guy you just traded to Dallas. But they got a first round pick for him, which is really good.
Right.
You know, so you basically traded Antonio Brown for who's the guy they traded away?
Amari Cooper.
For Amari Cooper, and and got a first round pick out of the deal.
Right. Now,
so you got Antonio Brown and a first round pick, which is good.
Now, back to what you were said about Antonio Brown and the Roethlisberger thing. I actually take Antonio Brown's side on the him versus Roethlisberger thing, because Roethlisberger was the one that was always putting everything out there instead of keeping it in house.
I'm not taking sides on anything. I'm not taking anybody's side. It's just like I said, even if you are right, you look like a buffoon. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you have a great quarterback. So if you don't like him, just work with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just tell him, like, listen, keep my name out your mouth when you go to the fucking media, or I'll punch in the fucking face. I'll call him a rapist. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't. Like you gotta break it down to him like that, and if he doesn't respect it, then like let's go to management and say I want to be traded.
Well, I don't know what he did behind closed doors. I don't know if he ever approached them or confronted them about these things, but I think it starts from the very top, because Pittsburgh, they run their mouths a lot. Whether it's him or Roethlisberger, and then Le'Veon Bell was happy. It's a lot going on there for such a organization that's well respected, for all this stuff to be happening. And I think Mike Tomlin didn't nip a lot of this stuff in the bud when he should have. Like,
he's going to be gone really soon. Mike Tomlin is not long for this for Pittsburgh.
I'm not sure. I don't know, because. I don't know.
Pittsburgh never fires anybody.
That's just not what they do. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Would I be surprised? No. I'm just not sure if they're gonna do that. And I know they know how that'll look if they did it. So even if they wanted to do it, I think they can't do it for at least another 5 years. You know what I mean? Like that. I think that they would just wouldn't do it just because of the optics of it. But and by the way,
they created the Rooney Rule.
Exactly. And by the way,
it's named after it's named after me. I was like, I can't fire him.
Right.
It's named after me.
Right. So he can't do it for a couple, for those reasons. Not to mention that Mike Tomlin is a winning coach. Like they didn't make the playoffs this year, but they're always one of the best teams in the league. So it's hard to fire a coach that's been. I mean, because that's the case. He should have been fired, Bill Cowher. You know what I mean? like Bill Cowher took him a long time to win, and he finally won. Tomlin didn't take him that long to win. You know what I mean? This was on like his second or third year in the league, right? When he won. Yeah. So and now granted, he hasn't won since. He's been to two. He won one, lost one. So you know what I mean? He's been to 2 Super Bowls. It's hard to fire a coach who's winning every year and has been to the Super Bowl twice and won one. So I don't think. So even though things gotten messy in Pittsburgh, I think they can still be fixed. I think, like, I compare a little bit to Seattle. Seattle, their players talked a lot, they ran their mouths, and it got to the point where they were going through something kind of similar. You know what I mean? And what they did was they basically started getting rid of a lot of those guys, and then now they're kind of changed to where they don't talk anymore really. Russell Wilson is definitely the face of the team now, and they kind of took on that personality a little bit this year, as opposed to everybody just running their mouth, especially the defense, because the defense was carrying the team, and the defense was running their mouths all the time. Now they're getting rid of those guys. So
it wasn't like they got rid of them, but it was it was what happens when you got a whole bunch of Pro Bowls. You're not going to pay them all.
Right, you can't pay them all.
The Legion of Boom, you're not going to pay those guys. You know what I'm saying? Plus, you got guys who are getting older and they weren't as productive.
Right.
And they were getting hurt, so like you bleed them off. All those guys, they don't do anything now because they're old. But they're the only one that's Bennett.
But no matter the reason why, their image has changed since they started losing them or getting rid of them, however the case may be. And now they could look at more like
they were Super Bowls with them.
And they
would have won more Super Bowls if they had all of them.
I think after the second one where they lost to the Patriots, that was going to be it for them anyway. Football, only the Patriots can really do what they're doing. Everybody else has a nice little run and then they kind of go away. You know what I mean? So especially when you're top heavy, like they had a lot of talent. They had a lot of really, really elite players especially on defense. So, and like you said, there's no way they were going to be able to keep them all. So, they probably could have at least maybe got another one or whatever, but what I'm trying to say is like, it's not too late for Pittsburgh to right the ship. It's not like because a lot of times, sometimes you do got to get rid of the coach because that culture is what it is. But I don't think that necessarily has to be the case. I think things can be. Because it's not like they're a bad team. Like this year, they didn't make the playoffs, but Le'Veon Bell held out, so he's gone. Like they still got some rebuilding to do a little bit, like reset button type of thing. Because now you lose Antonio Brown. I don't worry about them as far as getting the players because they lose good players all the time, and then they replace them with somebody even better most of the time. You know what I mean? So like I'm not worried about that in that sense, but. Like as far as the culture, I think they can change it, and they'll be fine either way. But and I don't think Tomlin's gonna get fired. I don't think he necessarily deserves to either.
Well, let's move on and talk about some of the player movement. Case Keenum went to the Redskins, so the Giants have a much better chance of winning the NFC East now. Also, the Redskins have signed one of our best players, one of the Giants. When I say ours, I mean the Giants. One of the Giants' best players, our free safety, Landon Collins. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro. Mm-hmm. The Giants refused to franchise tag him. They refused to give him any money. So Redskins do what they usually do. They swoop in, they overpay for the top free agents on the market. They do it every other year. Yeah. They paying this guy $14 million a season. I don't know any free safety that's worth $14 million.
Yeah, none. Especially now, like safeties are getting less and less valuable. So
most of the time they put corners out there, or they'll run with 5 linebackers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like, so the Giants actually just signed Antoine Bethea. So that I was like, is he still playing? I was like, he really?
Yeah, I was about to say, damn, Bethea. I remember that. I remember that guy.
Yeah, he was playing like at least 10, 15 years ago. I was like, this guy's still playing. I was like, all right, well, they signed him. Also, another move, Nick Foles.
Yeah, 4 years, $88 million to Jacksonville. So I think I think that's a good fit for them. I mean, their defense, running game, and he can make the throws. I mean, he's not no superstar quarterback, but I think he fits that role pretty much as well as anybody in the league.
So. So I agree with that move, and it just frees it. there were actually a lot of rumors that Jacksonville was going to trade up to try to pick up Haskins in the draft because they knew that the Giants were going to pick him up. But I've actually seen another mock draft where the Giants do not draft Haskins. They draft an offensive lineman, and Denver drafts Haskins a couple picks later. And we draft a quarterback in the second round, some 6'7", 245-pound quarterback from Buffalo. 6'7", 245 pounds. They said that Gettleman likes big quarterbacks. You know, he came from Carolina when he had Cam Newton, you know, who's 6'6", 240. I was like, well, how many championships Cam Newton won? But anyway,
he would have won, and he won an MVP, so he's capable.
Yeah, he's very capable of winning, but I'm sorry. You go for the best quarterback, and the best quarterback. What's the guy's name? His name is Tyree Jackson from Buffalo, and
that sounds like a brother.
Yeah, he's black.
Tyree Jackson.
It was funny. It was a white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm like, Tyree? Looking around this motherfucker like, hey, Tyree!
Right here, coach.
I'm Tyree.
Right here, coach.
I'm Tyree. I'm like, no, get the fuck out. You
What is this? What is that short for?
Tyree bring his black ass out. He's probably late.
You stupid. Frank Gore still getting signed. He signed with the Bills. Terrell Suggs left Baltimore and signed with Arizona.
He's still playing, Jesus.
You signed with Arizona.
He's like 36. And meanwhile, my cousin Justin Houston might sign with the Patriots.
Wow, damn. Your cousin.
It's my parents, motherfucker.
And Tyrann Matthews went to the Chiefs, 3 years, $42 million.
Oh man, I was looking to how many times this guy gonna move around? He went from Arizona to Houston.
Oh, he was with Houston. Okay, Houston. That's right. San Francisco signed Quan Alexander from Tampa. He's coming off an ACL, but they gave him 4 years, $54 million. So they was
what?
Yeah, I'm like, ugh. Coming off an ACL, I don't know. And they say he's undersized linebacker too, so I don't know about that one. And and Deshaun Jackson got traded back to the Eagles.
Oh my God!
What?
Breaking news: OBJ traded to Browns.
For real?
It just happened right now.
To the Browns? Ugh.
No, get out of here. No. My phone just went off, all right?
To the Browns?
Okay? No. Get out of here. No, get out of here.
I knew they wouldn't trade him to us, but damn, now I'm just
No,
but I still had hope.
Get out of here. The Browns have traded. Oh my God, no.
Wow. What did they get for him?
Okay. It just happened 4 minutes ago. It is 8:00 Eastern time. Okay, I'm not joking. The Giants are. This is from Mike Garofalo. The deal is done. I'm not joking.
Oh man. Wow.
So him and Jarvis Landry in that damn hot tub. Why would you trade him?
Cleveland will be tough.
What? Oh.
Wow. That's
Bleacher
crazy.
Report just has it.
How come I'm not seeing it?
Why would you trade him?
Wow,
What did he do?
crazy.
What did he do? What?
That's man. What did it say? What they got?
No, they're just reporting the trade. You know, it's Giants received first round pick and just Adam Schefter now. First round pick, the 17th overall. The Browns' second, third round pick this year, and Jabril Peppers.
Damn.
So
they got a first, second, and third, and Jabril Peppers.
Okay, the Browns' second, third round pick. Okay, the second, third round picks.
So they got a first and a third.
Yeah, first and a third, and Jabril Peppers. I like Jabril Peppers. He played for Michigan. So we got the 17th pick. We got the.
So I got the. Fifth pick and the seventh. The fifth pick. What do you have? The fifth pick. What is sixth?
I think the fifth or sixth.
Pick,
and we have the 17th pick.
Damn.
Oh man, that's my dude, man.
Wow.
That's upsetting. That's really upsetting.
Yeah, I can imagine. I'd be pissed off.
That's he's our best player, man. Well, outside of, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I know. You're shell shocked.
I'm processing this right now.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's kind of like a couple weeks ago when we traded Porzingis. It was,
yeah, that's what I was like. Oh, what?
It left me. I was like,
man, wow. So I wonder who they're gonna get with the 17th pick. Like, I wonder what the Giants are trying to do now.
I don't know, Lamar. I don't fucking know.
All right, on that note, we should be wrapping this up. Yeah, so that's basically how we're going to end the show because it's time to wrap it up. Yeah, I guess next week we'll get more into this breaking news. Are you crying? Are you crying? Nah.
Please stop the show.
All right, y'all. We will catch y'all next week. We'll talk about this trade some more next week.